Hey guys, Deadlift here with Near Airport. No beating around the bush, just going to get straight to it. We unfortunately won't be continuing the team for Summer Split, but we really want to thank all the fans for supporting, watching us, and just giving us a lot of positive vibes throughout the whole experience. I think it's important to just talk about how the whole journey went, and that has to start at the beginning when basically Spica, Ming, came up with the idea for Near Airport just kind of like randomly. So you want to talk about that, Ming?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had this idea, obviously inspired by like Ross Latonis, right? And then I thought, hey, why don't we have a version of that in North America? I think it'll be really fun. And I've played with Peter before, and I really want to play with Eugene. So then I just hit up both of them, say, hey, what do you guys think about playing the qualifiers and start a team? And that's how it all started.
Yeah. And I took Eugene, or I didn't take him out, but we went to go get coffee one time. Went to go get breakfast and coffee, and then I brought it up to you and like, what did you think, Eugene?
When you came to me with the idea, I was like, oh man, that sounds crazy. Like, it sounds fun, but it sounds a little crazy. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to actually make it work. I was like, who would we even get for top and support? Doublelift was like, oh, I'll hit up Biofrost. I'll hit up TFBlade. I was like, okay. And this whole idea sounds pretty crazy, but we can try it. Spring split, there's not really any stakes involved. So, we gave it a good try. We tried to fit around everyone's schedule, gave it our best effort. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, we will get to that part. No, I mean, I think as far as Blade, like every time I played with and against him in solo queue, he was tearing it up. He was kind of 1v9, so that's why I thought you were a great fit. And obviously, I played with Vincent. We've been really good, like best friends for like I don't even know, almost 10 years now. So what did you guys think when basically I came to you with the idea?
For me at the beginning, I was kind of like I hesitant because I was trying to play with Dante's team at that moment. I think if you remember, but
I do.
overall, I mean, the chances of playing with like 4 pro players over just a bunch of solo queue players, I was like, wait, this is so much more exciting. It's almost like a scene that I've never actually tried before because like only practice in solo queue mostly. But yeah, no, overall it was like a really fun journey, really lots of new learning stuff and good experience.
Yeah, and I remember you took it really maturely too. You were like, you were on Dante's team, which I kind of thought was like a bit of a just like for fun type of thing. And then you're like, oh, I can't just like leave him. I got to make sure that they have a replacement, like a decent replacement for me before I leave. And I was like, wow, that's actually very considerate. Like that's very mature of you to do that. And I was honestly really impressed with the way you handled the whole thing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Vincent, what was it like for you in the beginning?
I remember you hitting me up like I think it was like in the middle of my school semester, and then you told me like I'd have to decide in like a day or two. It was like super sudden, and I was like, I don't know. I'm down to playing the qualifiers, and it was all like very fast. So I didn't expect it to be like a huge thing, and then you're like, wait, no, Vincent, it's like actually a kind of a big thing. It's like shaping up to be. It was a lot of fun. I didn't play pro for a while, so I was like kind of scared that I was just gonna feed every game, and I didn't have a lot of time either. But pretty good experience. I had really good teammates around me, so I didn't have to like do that much, honestly.
Oh, dude, you're holding it down, bro. What are you saying? And last but not least, at the brains of our operation, Croissant. I remember we were doing open qualifiers, and we kind of thought our coach thought it would be like a flex where we would just have like random people come in like Medios U, LS. But I think when you came in, first off, I think the person that recommended you to begin with was Pope, because I think you guys had worked together in the past or something like that. But when you started coaching the team and doing our draft and stuff, it just kind of immediately clicked.
So, I mean, Peter, you hit me up one day while I was getting noodles with Apollo, and I still remember getting the call and then stepping outside and being like, probably take this. And I think it was Vincent who you guys were talking about getting a coach, and he brought me up, and it was crazy because I've actually never worked with any of you, but been on teams that played against your guys' teams and all that stuff over the years. And yeah, I was definitely like at a crossroads, and this was something that I wanted to give a shot. Yeah, I just feel like I'd always wanted to work with every single one of you, even you, Blade, and I didn't realize it. Even just from like remembering when you were first like getting really high rated in solo queue early in the 2015s and stuff. And so it was just overall a lot of fun and an honor. Like I don't think people realize how big I'm like a coach, but I'm the biggest fan out there of good League of Legends players, and you guys are all up there. So
I kind of low-key knew that about you, but I always knew you're really well respected in the scene as well. So yeah, I mean, I think like I guess I'll start with the middle of it, which is just our whole experience with the split. We smashed through OQs. Eugene came back after like a vacation, and then we were like, kind of at this point, we were like, oh my god, we're kind of getting shit on. Like we don't even we're like terrible. Like I don't know what's going on. We might not even make it through the OQs. But when we actually got into the OQs, we ended up being stage players with the full roster, like locked and loaded. We just like smashed through it, made it into NACL, barely lost our first game to Luminosity, which actually felt very good. Like it felt like shit to lose, but I was like, wow, that was our first game. That's our toughest opponent. And we almost won. Like we could have totally won that. So I thought we were off to like a really great start. Everything was going good. I think we won 10 games in a row in the regular season, and then the end of the season was terrible. Like we all our schedules were fucked. I was doing a tournament. Vincent had exams. Everyone had like something going on and like plans pre-made, and so we just literally couldn't practice. Not only could we not practice, but like we're like playing worse. We're constantly using subs. The whole team environment's like real stressful because we're starting to like lose and not like be able to do what we know, as pro players, like you need to do to actually win and improve. So the end was kind of a shit show, but I think it was like a really fun time in the end because we ended up with that like Winthrop series with the Anivia pick winning in game 5.
So after the first split where there wasn't really anything on the line, we came together as a team and we were like, okay, do we want to run it back? Like what was holding us back spring split from realizing our best potential? And when it came down to it, I thought we should either go all or nothing. Like we should either be all in. We didn't really practice a lot in spring split, and I feel like we could probably be the best team, but realistically, only scrimming like one day a week, a lot of conflicting schedules, it made things really hard for us to be the best team possible, I think. So heading into this next split, I kind of felt like we should either go all in and practice a lot more, take it a lot more seriously, or we should just not do it. And ultimately, the conclusion we came down to is that everyone has their own individual lives going on. A lot of us are past the stage where we want to invest all of our time available into being the best League of Legends players we can be. Like, if I think back to when I played pro and LCS, it was literally like, wake up, start thinking about League, watch every LPL, LCK VOD, watch every NALCS VOD, every EU VOD, and just like literally nothing in my life besides League of Legends. And that was kind of the work I put in to be the best League player possible. And I realized like I can't do this unless I do that, because we're just in this weird limbo in between where it's like we're sort of trying, but we're not really trying like the hardest that we can. And that was driving me crazy. Sorry, I've been rambling. Someone else can take the wheel here.
No, dude, I love that.
For me, honestly, everything was like completely a new experience. I'm just like learning the game like trying to learn it as a pro player, because it's like a completely different game. There's like, I think my biggest weakness is I can't multitask, right? Like, so if we are in comms, for some reason, I still had this like ever since I was a child. I just could only focus on one thing and one thing properly. So like that was the main thing I was trying to focus on as I was playing. But it was like fun trying to like figure everything out and seeing how I can improve as we go on the journey. Overall, I also wanted to see if there was any event that we could go in person and like play together, or maybe like, do a trip together as a team. That would always be, just a new fun experience to go out and see how it goes. But I'm happy with everything that turned out and happy with how we made the team and got a new experience out of it.
I mean, I think I share the same sentiment with Eugene, where it feels like we got to go all in, right? Or else it's not really worth it. And we would just have to just put in a lot of time and effort. And then there's also, possibly scheduling conflicts. And we weren't exactly super confident with going forward. And I feel like if it's not something that all 5 of us wants to do together, it's not really worth continuing.
Yeah, while I was thinking of like if I should continue to do this, at least from my POV, I'm like a full-time student, so it's definitely hard to like juggle with League. And definitely what Eugene said also resonates with me in the sense that when I was a pro, yeah, I didn't have anything else going on in my life. Like it was just League. Um, and right now there's just like so many other things. And I definitely feel like it's more of like a all or nothing thing in terms of wanting to do the whole like pro path, and you don't want to have any regrets going into it. So you don't want to think like, oh, what if I had put more time into this? So you kind of want to do that all in play. So at least for me, it didn't make that much sense doing it because I had already committed to so many prior commitments before that if I had like completely switched paths, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So, but despite that, like I still had a lot of fun doing it. I don't know if an opportunity like this would come up again, but I'm glad where we like ended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to say it was like a lot of fun. It was really old school vibes. If I think back to like, oh my god, season 1 when we were just kids. Me and Doublelift used to play back then, and back then it was just like you pick players you want to play with, and you just try it out, and you'll just play in like a tournament, and you'll just try it out. And so it was kind of fun to try that again because over time the scene became so rigid. Everyone has to sign contracts. You don't even know who you're going to play with for the split. You know, your manager is just like, hey, we got these guys from like Europe or Korea, and you're like, sweet, I hope they're good. But it was genuinely a lot of fun to play on this team with players I know. I've played alongside them in solo queue. I've played against them like Spica, Biofrost, Blade, but I've never gotten the chance to play with them. Yeah, honestly, it's going to be great to look back on and think about the time we were able to just play together for a whole split.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've same feelings as you and Ming, and I think we all are on the same page. It's like on one hand, we know after the first split, this is what we need to do. What we need to do is basically scrim 4 to 5 days a week. We need to have a day where we scrim no streams, so we can scrim strong teams, possibly LCS teams or the top NACL teams that don't want their scrims to be streamed, understandably, right? And on the other hand, it's like what we want to do. Like, do we really want, like, we know we need to do that to be the best team that we can be. Otherwise, it's going to drive us crazy. But this is like, I don't know if I want to do that, right? Like, that's like an absolute, that is literally back to being a pro player again. There's no difference. It's every second of every single day thinking, doing everything you can to be the best player that you can be. And it's like, I mean, I talk about from my own, I'm not going to speak for anyone else. My own POV is like, I don't want to do that, right? That's such a like that for me, that's like a lifetime ago from when from where I'm now. And where, like, I remember those pro days where the only thing in my life that mattered was being the best player that I could be. And it's like, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm different now. And I don't think that I want to spend every single day stressing about that. But the funny thing is, like, okay, maybe the fans would now be asking, well, why did we even start this thing to begin with? Well, the truth is, we just wanted to try it. That's simple as that. We just wanted to try it and see how it went. And a lot, like, all of us are real flexible about the whole thing. You know, this was not like some sort of like all in thing. We kind of knew we were coming in with a handicap to begin with. I'm happy with the journey. I think the journey was absolutely amazing for us and for the fans who watched. So yeah, I feel great and got to know a lot of you guys a lot better, especially you, Blade. I don't think we'd ever really interacted before this, but I think through this, we all became like either friends for the first time or became closer friends. So no regrets.
Yeah, no, feelings mutual. Perfect.
One thing that Vincent said that resonated a lot with me was being ready to put in enough so that you don't have regrets. And for me, I thought this was actually going to be a thing that not just everyone else and the players and working around their schedules, but myself, I would be able to do as a, like, to test and to see, like, but I had never actually been on a team where I didn't give it like everything I had. And I feel like I gave a lot, and a lot of it, like, everyone was really receptive and nice, but I still have regrets because I don't think I gave as much as I needed to, and that's like a reason to not go forward, right? And that's just my perspective, but I think probably everyone feels something of that. So that's like, it was a really good journey, but that's like the That's like the downside for me, or that's like talking about the negative parts and the struggles. But I don't think I want to think that the door is still open in some capacity. Like if there's a tournament that's like a week long and we just want to get back together and play, I really loved working with everyone, and everyone's still doing the same stuff or has that time available and can make that time for a week. That's something I love to do, because maybe we can play in person, and that's something that we never got to do, and it's a really special part of any team. Being in person makes all the lows and the highs just like everything feels more worth it, or like ingrained in your memory, you know? So yeah, maybe that's on the cards.
I like the idea that the door is always open, and I'm always down to run it back with you guys and do a little sprint, sweat for my life with you guys by my side, playing some streamer tournament or whatever show match comes up. Yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun. Is there anything else we missed for the video? Babe?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah.
We just do a bye, wave into camera.
This content
outro.
is absolutely fire.
Okay, so we're reaching the end of the video, and we just want to say to all the fans that watched us from the start, from OQs, watched us scrim, our stage matches, thank you guys so much for supporting us and rooting for us. You know, we'll still be streaming, most of us, every day on Twitch still, so if you have the time to still tune in, check out our streams. We appreciate you guys a bunch, and if we ever end up coming back in some way, shape, or form for like a for fun streamer tournament or anything like that, we will be sure to let you guys know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love. Okay, anyone else have any final words, or?
This is Deer Airport taking off. Until next time.
That was pretty good.
I got nothing, bro. That's all I had.
Vincent's gone.
I think you
Still
just
there.
cringed to death.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
Let's
keep
wave.
that as the outro, with everyone just laughing and dying.
Bye.
Bye.